We are back, episode 12, Viridian County. I'm your host, Red Kool-Aid. On our last episode, we built the pedestrian district of Amber Lake. I really enjoyed that episode. This episode, we need to build some industrial, man. Our goods situation still isn't where I want it to be. But before we do that, I need to do a little bit of maintenance. I need to add some death care. This is right alongside that Amber Lake district. That's the service point. If y'all remember, I hid that service point under that little decorative building. So I need to put in a crematorium. I forgot in our last, once we hit certain milestones, I forgot we even got crematoriums. I've been using the little graveyard assets that I got off the workshop. Just because they're so small, they only have a few hearses, and I can put them, kind of sprinkle them around. But it's time to kind of do away with that. We need to start building some more hard installations as far as the death care and things like that, especially industrial, man. That's what this episode is really leading up to. Right now, you can just see me putting some fence in. This is some minor detailing. I'm not going to go off on a super tangent. I just felt like, the back of it was a little naked. We needed something going on. I'm going to use these little default vans, and I'm just going to color tweak them. And just in our minds, they're just morgue vans. How about that? We're going to play make-believe on that one. Not a lot of detailing, just enough to where I don't have to come back and deal with this later. It looks okay. Now we're going to skip over to Fairview, our little oil town we built a couple episodes back. After the update, the skate park that I had right here, which I really loved, it disappeared. I don't know why. I waited for a while to see if it would come back or whatever, but it never did. So I'm just going to put a little temporary skate park. I haven't given up. But we need something to fill that gap. It was really bothering me. Also, in this community, I didn't put any schools. Everybody here is really stupid. So we need to put down an elementary school. We're going to put down a high school. And I'm going to switch it up and go baseball stadium on this in this town. I feel like they feel like more like a baseball community. It's way out. Maybe not football here. Next, we need to skip over to our college campus because I was having some educational pipeline issues. And what are these birds doing? Y'all see this? Is this a thing? Is this like something that happened after the update? Like, I've never seen the birds doing this. Is this the thing from Angels in the Outfield? This is Angels in the Outfield. Yeah, some of y'all too young to remember that movie, but I knew I seen that move somewhere. Anyway, we need to add some more capacity to our college campus. I just looked at the Watch It mod thing, and I noticed that it's just like we're screaming for more dorm space. So I need to add a few more buildings in. Not gonna spend too much. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna put a few residential buildings, just sprinkle them around, fill out the skyline downtown a little bit more. Hold on, let's change these colors. We're gonna add some residential buildings downtown. There's a lot of blank spaces that we left. And now that I have a lot of demand, just might as well fill some of that up. Nothing too big. I don't want any of the buildings to be any bigger than the biggest buildings that we have right now. I really took my time and sculpted that skyline, so we're not going to mess that up by adding a bunch of nonsense. Right here in this little construction site, we'll just go ahead and add some of these. I don't know what these kind of houses call. I just call them Cliff Huxtables. Slide that into position. And in this space right here, I need to cram a lot of residential really fast. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Let's get to it. I'm going to take away some of these trees. I don't even think I give this district a name. I may, but it's really just to fill out. If you can see, I've been letting our RCI run wild, and my residential demand is just ridiculous. So I need to start putting some type of neighborhoods, but don't get it confused, kids. The point of today is for us to do the fire build you saw in the thumbnail. This is just maintenance work. We have to maintain the city. We don't want to build up a big giant factory district and not have no workers. That's how your stuff gets shut down. And as you can already see, we don't even have any industrial demand, baby. So we're gonna have to start making sure we incrementally increase our residential. Let's speed it up. The main part of this little neighborhood is going to be this little tram road. I really like these little tram networks, but I'm actually going to have to switch that out and end up doing it by hand because you can't put a stop on this tram road. And I didn't read. Reading is fundamental.
Reading is fundamental. Reading is fundamental.
And I didn't, do my job. But I found out later on that I can't add a stop right there. So I'm going to use these little gates and some fences to kind of make this little street feel more residential. You'll see me add a lot of signs and props and things. I'm going to let some music play and I'll be back. You guys hang out. It's Viridian County.
Evans Forest Community Week kicks off in a couple days. Y'all make sure y'all leave that drama at home. We're trying to have a good time. I'm trying to come out there fresh. You know what I'm saying? So y'all pull up with the fam. Stay tuned for more music. It's 98.5.
Nothing too major. We OD'd on the townhouses and the little row houses, but it's just an extension of the communities that are already around it. Here is where we're going to build something new. And I said I didn't want to do this. I said I didn't want to jump the river, but I need to because I need the space. So I had this really good idea to build this little factory district. It's going to be nothing but industrial. We're going to use this Jack's Shoe Factory as kind of the centerpiece of the community. Lay out all the pieces, and I'm gonna lay out 2 of these. I want 2 of these. Don't ask me why. Just feeling froggy today. And we're gonna elevate some pieces. I want to build on a hill. I really feel like I have a good idea. I really feel like I can make a good layout. So let's give it a shot, shall we? We're gonna lay out some roads right here. We're gonna circle these roads around. We're gonna bend them around on each other. We're gonna use the median road so we can keep that traffic under control. Then we're gonna move these pieces over here to this side. Gonna stretch a road out. We're not creating a road network. We're creating a journey. That's Captain Obvious. He's another builder that I watch and I get a lot of inspiration from. He says that a lot. So that's me right now. You're witnessing me trying to create a journey. And then I start thinking, you know what? I need some pathways so people don't have to drive around if they get off the train station that we're gonna put in. Because then I had the genius idea to let's put a train station in the building. And all this is just seeming like a really good idea to me. And I'm executing it. I'm trying it, and maybe it's not so good. But I moved this. And let's try another train station. Let's try this elevated train station. Maybe let's put it over here. Does this work? That doesn't seem to work. This doesn't work. Is this gonna work? Let's put this. Is it gonna work up here? I think it's better. You know what I'm starting to think at this point? It's a good idea, but I'm doing this all wrong. I really need to start over. Let's start fresh. Let's start with the train station first. I decided to go with the sunken over the elevated because finally, after I took my time, I figured out a better way of laying all this out. So we're gonna lay the train station on the far side of the factory. And it's actually a little door that you can't see. Pardon this, I used the wrong road. Let me fix that. But there's a door you can't see that people can actually use to go through. And this road that I'm circling around, we're gonna turn into a pedestrian road. So I don't have to worry about any traffic from anybody coming from that train station, just people walking. Here you can see me making the loading dock parts of that first big factory. And now I'm laying out the rest of the district of where it will attach to the cargo station and the elevated parts, because that was a good idea that I had. Like I said, the first part was cool, but I didn't sandbox any of it. So I was kind of freestyling, and the layout it wasn't right. There was a better answer to this. And I'm not even saying this is the best answer, but I could feel myself getting more into the build as I was going. It felt like the right thing. It felt like I was sticking to my creed of, creating the journey, but definitely I was figuring out small tricks that I knew were gonna help the traffic to stay really low and spread out. The district isn't going to be super congested. It's going to have a lot of props and nonsense going on, but the buildings that you see now, plus a fish factory that I put in, will make that's it. There's 6 buildings maybe, but the traffic from these buildings are ridiculous. So again, this is a part of my overall strategy to decrease the imports. At this point in the game, I am just about to shut off all imports. There's a mod called Import CEO, I think it's called, and you can just shut off all goods. And the funny thing about the mod is it doesn't really matter what happens like 10 minutes after you know what I'm saying, cut it off. You need to wait like a day and see does your city just break because you aren't getting enough goods. I think I'm at that point. We finally made it to the point, especially after we build this district, where I'm, Rockdale and all the others, man. You can just stop altogether. But we got stuff if you want to buy it. How about that, fam? Pull up. Right now, I'm still kind of jigging with the road network to make sure there's no tight corners. I'm adding the rail network. It's going to extend through Evans Forge and run straight into this little district. And it's not even a far route, it's just across the river, but I want to keep as many trucks off the road as I can if I can help it. The little tunnel that I'm making now connects to the passenger station, and I'm not even really worried about the congestion. I'll split the lines later. I'm not worried about that right now. Right now, we just need to get it working. So we're going to run a line to the Sunset Park station, the one we built, I think it was last week's episode, 2 weeks ago, not sure. Again, I'm sorry about being late on this. I actually recorded this episode and forgot I recorded it. And I started working on a whole nother district, and now I'm late. I know I'm late by YouTube's algorithmic drop standards. I'm CP time. But we're gonna get back right because I got a couple of episodes that are gonna come really fast back to back to make up for that. So I switched these spawn points to the back side of that. I want to keep this main road just for travel, and you can see me putting down a little small 1 or 2 unit fire station, police station, just so people don't have to come from across the river in case one of these factories go up. And the day I worked on this episode, the asset creator, I believe it's pronounced Clements, please be right, dropped this Eagle and Phoenix Mill number 3. Bro, that is so fire sitting up on that hill. We're going to get into a time lapse, but that factory is fire. Let's get it. Almost forgot to save a little space for where I want to put a fish factory. It's going to be a fish factory block, and I'm going to use a couple of factory assets and recolor them and use that as kind of a little disguise. Y'all know how I like to disguise things. I will go back in the detailing, the rest of the detailing time lapse, and I'll add some, trailers and, little objects to make it feel a little more detailed. Well, right now, I like these assets because there's like 3 or 4 of them, and they all look the same, and they're kind of small, but they just look, they're simple but effective. We need to add some rocks and stuff to this backside. Let's finish detailing this. first thing I did when I put the area down is I laid down a cargo station. You might not have seen me do it, but I'm using Bob to take all of the assets off. It's the express cargo station. It's just a vanilla cargo station, but I knew I could Bob everything off and make it, clean. And we're going to use a few assets from the workshop to kind of make our own little cargo area that just feels, it matches color-wise. First of all, we got to coordinate. And it just also just feels a little bit more unique. I feel like there's more opportunities for little detail and pieces and things I can even come back to maybe later on. I'm going to get a lot of this done today. Like, the area will look complete, but, there's always little pockets that I can go back and maybe add something. There's a lot of space where I can go back and maybe take away a parking lot or two and add something else. But for right now, we're just going to lay down this. We're going to sink this down so it doesn't stick out of the roof like that. Unnoticeable amount of sinking, and slide that over to the edge so that pole is kind of in the middle. We're going to use some of this corrugated fence to make, I'm going to be honest, at this point, I don't know what I'm making yet, but I know I can put me some little stuff right there and make it look neat. I just want it to look rustic. I want it to look like this was one of the big major factory areas when the city first started kind of modernizing. Also, the asset is called Jack's Shoe Factory, and that's okay. Jack, you're cool. Shout out to Jack. Jack, you're my guy. But we're going to change that to Jackson Shoe Factory, because y'all know how we get down in Viridian County, man. Somebody that used to have a Jerry curl on Jackson's Shoe Factory. Somebody that went to an Isley Brothers concert and drunk Coke 45. They own Jackson's Shoe Factory. Somebody that wears cocoa butter owns Jackson's Shoe Factory. So shout out to my boy Jack, but we're going to have to change that. I'm going to detail this. Y'all guys hang out, man.
going on, but they gotta do something about these trams, man. They everywhere. The traffic is getting crazy. I don't know who's in charge of this, but yo, if you listening, it's time to tighten it up, Playboy. Stormzy, Dave, Clash, it's 98.5 City Sounds. Let's go, baby.
Jordan 4s or Jordan 1s, Rolexes got more than one. My AP costs 31, millimeters 41. Stick, hit up with a stick, hit to the shorter one. You can't short me one, in the club with the shortest one. Lighty, shortest one, on my mind, Georgia one. Crocodile bag, I bought a one. Vegan thing, I slaughter one. Freaks, I got more than one. Fuck, daddy and daughter one. Tory putting in labour, this that Jeremy Corbyn one. Awkward one, race me care, taught us one. I need a ting, 30 plus, Blackberry and Walkman one. Look, I left my phone and my babies, silent mode. My guys on riding mode, zombies, survival mode. He's got a new vest, man, pop that showed no microphone. I'll ride for bro, he's next to I like typing O. Score 5-0, 6-1. For the ticks I love, 12.54 like 6-1. Babe, can't look at my pensions, that's area 51. I'm so close to my pension, my left wrist is 61. My left wrist retiring. My apprentice trying to give Alan sugar, there's no way I can. Jordan 4s or Jordan 1s, Rolexes got more than one. My AP costs 31, millimeters 41. Stick, hit up with a stick, hit to the shorter one. You can't short me one, in the club with the shortest one. Lighty, the shortest one, on my mind, Georgia one. Crocodile bag, I bought a one. Vegan thing, I slaughter one. Freaks, I got more than one. Fuck, daddy and daughter one. Tory putting in labour, this that Jeremy Corbyn one.
Overrated one, most hated one. Slid round after his birthday, gave him a happy belated one. Burned that bridge, cremated one. Ooh, bailiff one. Got away with murder, this that Viola Davis one. We stop and stare, watch prayer. Yeah, stainless one. Hate this one, hating niggas gonna hate this one. I live life in a high, might fly to the bar with the guys to the weather's been shit. I can wear a different kettle every day of the month from a different. Rolly's got 21, I've been this since 21. Girl, I need that gently one, that Savage and Fenty one. They got the new Aston Martin plug, could you send me one? He said no need to be renting one. Big Tex inventing one, cool. My bros don't tap, they just wear all black on a blending one. Man, I'm talking war, don't know about war till you ending one. The machine got seats when I'm ending. Needed the hit, could have penned in one. Could you penned in one? Aye. She wanna go to the cinema, so we just walk downstairs. The mortgage cleared, we've overtaken all our peers. After all these years, disrespect is all I hear. We kept all with flair. Off the set, they storm like peers. Fuck all more than tears. Then when I talk in there, but it's cool.
I got my things on more than good. Anytime that I walk my hood, I got the Jordan 4s and 6s. All I need now is Jordan Woods. Don't get caught for purse, don't die for nyash. We slide and crash. 16 don't ride and clash. 16 don't battle rap. She got the whap and a whap. What are you thinking? Man's on simping. I buy her a car like a pair of Jordan 4s or Jordan 1s. Rolexes got more than one. My AP costs 31, millimeters 41. Stick, hit up with a stick, hit to the shorter one. You can't short me one, in the club with the shortest one. Lighty, the shortest one, on my mind, Georgia one. Crocodile bag, I bought a one. Vegan thing, I slaughter one. Freak, I got more than one. Fuck, daddy and daughter one. Tory putting in labour, this that Jeremy Corbyn one.
So the episodes feel shorter like this, but I just like the flow of it. Like this one project, we got one thing. We actually got another thing done, but we this is so massive, I forgot about it. But we did do that other little tiny trammy district that's on the outskirts of our Amber Lake. The last thing I wanted to do was I got this custom asset made. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name because I know I'm going to mess it up. So I'm just going to put it on the screen. Bam, you see it right there? That's him. They made the Black Rifle coffee shop for me. The Roscoe's joint. I got a few things that is when I need something custom, that's where I go. So if you need stuff like that, or just tap in with the Patreon, man. Just tap in, throw some likes, and them little Steam rewards. Sprinkle all that in the game, man. Y'all do that for me, because bro be going crazy. That's pretty much it. I'm going to get into some cinematics. I'll tap back in. episode, what is this, 12? I don't know. I'm losing track. I'm telling you, I'm a couple episodes ahead. So the next one, I apologize for how ridiculous it is. I'm Kool-Aid. This is Viridian County. Like, subscribe, comment. I really hate saying all that stuff. It's cliche, but y'all know. YouTube. Freaking YouTube.